Alright, Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, I'd like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that has taught us the truth and sincerity. Peace and blessings to the holy elect that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom. It's your brother Kodash coming back at you with another word of the day lesson. And Lord willing, this word of the day lesson is edifying and to the point. And today's word of the day will be going into the word void, okay, which is found right here in Isaiah the 55th chapter. And I'm gonna start at verse 10, but it's in verse 11 is where my point is. And I'm gonna get right into it. Isaiah 55 verse 10. It says, "For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater." Okay? So, just how the rain comes down and, it waters the plants and things of that nature. That's the same way that the Lord is, he's giving this like an example as of how his word is. His word is set up the same way, which we're finna go into. Verse 11. And it says in verse 11, "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it." Okay? So as the prophets are prophesying the downfall of this current kingdom that we're living in now, which is America, okay? As we bring out these words and we prophesy against it, like it says in Ezekiel 35, "Set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it." So we pronounce a judgment against this place. It's gonna come to pass. Everything that we saying, it's gonna come to pass because the word is known as faithful and true, all right, which is Yahweh Shai, man. In its entirety, it comes in a volume of the book. So, we pretty much letting you know what's going to happen before it ever happened. And it's going to happen, man, because the Lord, they cannot lie. He's a man that he should not lie. Numbers, Numbers 23:19. We're paraphrasing. But let's get this word void, okay? This is the word void in the blue letter, Strong's H7387. The Hebrew word is rayaquam. Alright, and it says in the outline of biblical usage, I'm going to get straight to the point because it's going to bring me to another precept, without effect. Okay, so everything that we're saying, it's not going to go out without effect. It's actually going to manifest itself, and you're going to be within it. It's going to come and touch you. Alright, the Strong's definition, rayaquam, it says without cause, empty, in vain, void. Right, and nothing that the prophets, the true prophets of Yahweh Shai, is in vain. It's not void. Okay, meaning that it's not going to be without effect. Because everything that the prophets are saying, the true prophets of Yahweh Shai, there's going to be effects behind it. We're already seeing it. Okay. But, on that without effect, let's get this in Ezekiel 12. Let's get this in Ezekiel 12 and 21. Straight to the point. Ezekiel 12:21. And it says in Ezekiel 12, starting at verse 21, and it says, "And the word of the Lord, Yahweh, came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged, and every vision faileth." You see? So that's the mindset of our people. All right, oh man, y'all been talking about that forever. Ain't nothing happening. All right. And it says in verse 23, "Tell them, therefore, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shai power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel." And who is Israel? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, the Israelites. Okay. And it says, "But say unto them, the days are at hand. and the effect of every vision. You see? The effect of every vision. You see? So every vision, and that vision also goes into Chazawan, which is the prophecies, man. These prophecies, man, as we speak them into existence, they're gonna affect your everyday life. All right, for you scoffers and you naysayers that think that it's not gonna happen, like Scripture say, what if some did not believe? Should that make the faith of the Most High without effect? Most High forbid. Meaning no. Just because you don't believe doesn't mean that it's not gonna happen, man. You're gonna be affected by every vision that the prophets are prophesying about. Like I said, vision also goes into Chazawan. The Hebrew word Chazawan goes into prophecy, right? And it says in verse 24, for there should be no more any vain vision nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. Verse 25, for I am the Lord Yahweh, I will speak, and he's also speaking by way of his prophets. That's the mouthpiece of the Lord. And the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. It shall be no more prolonged. Right. So it's not going to be prolonged, man. The Lord is going to have it to where these prophecies are just going to be sped up, and they're going to be happening in people's lifetime. Because a lot of people say, oh, man, not in my lifetime. Oh, yeah, it's going to be in your lifetime. It's going to be in your lifetime, man. And I'm actually read that in NLT. And it says, it should be no more prolonged, for in your days, O rebellious house, talking about Israel, the Israelites, you so-called Black, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And it says, will I say the word and will perform it, saith the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai power. And it says in NLT, for I am the Lord Yahweh. If I say it, it will happen. Okay? Man, it's plain. There will be no more delays. Meaning waits, ain't gonna be no more waits. The Lord is speeding up the days, man, for the elect's sake. All right. And it says, you rebels of Israel, I will fulfill my threat of destruction in your own lifetime. I, the sovereign Lord, have spoken. You see? And the Lord is speaking by way of his prophets, man. All right. So in these last days, as we prophesy and bring these prophecies, to the forefront and shine light on them and make sense of them, the Lord is going to have them start manifesting in your everyday life to the point where you're going to be affected by the visions that we speak, which is going to Chazawan, all right, the prophecies, and they're not going to be void, man. They're not going to go without. They're not going to go out without effect. They're going to affect you. Okay, Ezekiel 33 and 32, closing out, and it says, and lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that have a pleasant voice, and can play well on an instrument. For they hear thy words, but they do them not. Right. Jake take everything for a joke. Jake look at everything, and when I say Jake, I mean our people, the Israelites, your so-called Black, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native Americans. They take everything for a joke. Your family members, just like off of the movie, Don't Look Up, when Tyler Perry and them was laughing, but the dude, I forgot his name, he was like, man, why do y'all take everything, for a fucking joke? Everything is not funny, and that's how we be feeling, man. But, at the end of the day, our people, they're going to have to learn after death by pain. All right? Then they're going to know that it's not a game. And it says in verse 33, and when this cometh to pass, and what? What is that when it cometh to pass? The prophecies that we're speaking. The visions that we are speaking on, which is Chazawan, like I said, goes into the prophecies, which are not going to go out void, man. We're speaking on them. The Lord is going to make them come to pass. All right? And it says, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet have been among them. Right. They're going to know that the Lord has truly sent prophets to warn them, but they didn't take heed. Okay? Because they thought that the prophecies that they were speaking on was going to go out void. Oh, it ain't going to happen in my lifetime, bro. No way. But little do you know, it is going to happen. And you will be affected by the effects of every vision. Okay? So Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to the point the next time. Shalom.